Corinthian columns. In fact, it's a church called the Madeleine. It's dedicated to Mary Magdalene. But that church has had a rather stormy history because although it started out as a church, Napoleon thought he'd like to have it as a temple of glory for his troops, but then he right bank. Left bank, everything south of the river. But when we say left bank, it still has connotation of being the Bohemian intellectual center because the university is on that side, a bit more historic, a little less conservative. Whereas when we say right bank, we think of business, banks, offices, and big department stores. We have a saying in French that the left bank thinks and the right bank spends. That's more or less correct. Huh?
Yes,
So,
Tommy.
here we are on the spending side or the window licking side. We're traveling down a stretch of road that we call the Grand Boulevard, the big boulevards. It runs from the west to the east of Paris where we just stay on it, but we're just taking a little stretch as far as the old Opera House, which is the most beautiful building in Paris. But this stretch of road used to be the city wall. It was a city fortification until the end of the 17th went to live in the Palace of Versailles. And then he had no more concerns about what was happening in Paris, and he ordered the wall to be torn down, and in its place he had laid down just to mean a wide street. We use it in English as well, don't we? Sunset Boulevard. Well, the etymology of that word is not certain, but we think it might come from the English word bulwark, or the German word Bollwerk, which meant a military rampart or a military terrace. Sounds logical because that's how this part of the city began. But now it's very lively and animated. It's full of cinemas and theaters and sidewalk cafes all around the Opera House. Cafe called the Café de la Paix or the Peace Cafe.
Yes.
Inaugurated in 1863, and that's why people started to go in the hope of seeing an opera star because it just overlooks the Opera Square, and it still is rather chic and snob and bourgeois to sit there and watch the world go by. It's like a goldfish bowl, so you can people watch and be people watched at the same time. So that's the nearest cafe to the Opera House. The Opera House, even Parisians get their cameras out and take pictures. It's Phantom of the Opera. It's still running after over 20 years, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's how it became famous, I think, the old Opera House. But surprisingly, it's never been performed in France. And that's a bit of a shock because originally it was a French book. It was
Yes.
written in 1911 by Gaston Leroux, and he tells the story of the phantom who floats on his underground lake under the opera house. He falls in love with an opera singer. So here it is, the Phantom's
the
Opera House. Wow.
Hello.
It's more like a palace than a theatre. That's why Parisians call it the Palais Garnier, the Garnier Palace, named after the architect who built it, Charles Garnier. He was an unknown architect. He was only 35 when he won an architectural competition. That's what prompted him to put this Italian-style loggia on the main facade. And he also used 33 different kinds of marble for the decoration on the inside, including white Carrara marble for the main staircase. So the Opera House, and behind the Opera House, that's where the serious shopping area is located. Galerie Lafayette, Printemps, the big stores behind the Opera House. We're doing just a quick detour down one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the city for shopping for jewelry. This is serious window licking, girls, huh? No, just for looking.
Peace
So,
to your eyes.
Rue de la Paix, Peace Street. Oh, look at Fred's new jewelry shop on the left, huh? Famous names in jewelry down here: Boucheron, Van Cleef& Arpels, Mikimoto, Chaumet, Piaget, Cartier, to name but a
There you
few.
go.
And we're going down to the square that's just surrounded by jewelry shops. If you can see out of the front window, the column is just starting to come out of the scaffolding, so I can already see the Battle of Austerlitz, from which Napoleon captured 800 bronze cannons from the Austrians, and he had them melted down to make the band that winds its way to the top. But even more exciting than Napoleon is the period. His name was Mansart. He also built the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles. There's another LV over there. I know, that's the jewelry shop. Can you see on the right? They're not making enough profit on the bags. They open jewelry as well now. Huh? And to the right corner here, where all the scaffolding is, also having